Hi there, this is Mr. Kaufman from High Five History with an instructional video going over a strategy to help you determine a source's point of view. Before we get into this, let's first define what point of view is in historical context. In historical context, a point of view would be the position at which someone views the world, right? Based on the person's experiences, who they are, and where they are. It changes the way in which they view their surrounding environment. A key and the heart of point of view would be determining someone's bias. Now, it's my opinion that everyone has bias, right? Everyone has their own life experiences that affects the way that they see the world around them. As a historian, it's your job to figure out what the person's bias is, right? To determine their point of view, which will then help you understand better what it is they're saying and maybe why it is that they're saying it. So this strategy is going to use an acronym called APARTS, very similar to a strategy called APARTS, which might be used to help you analyze documents for DBQs and such. Now we're going to use this to help us again focus on just determining the point of view of a source. So that for me, this goes hand in hand with another strategy called MARS, which I've gone over in a different video. MARS being main idea, audience, relevance, and source. And then APARTS would come in as an additional strategy to help you determine really the point of view of the source from the document that you studied. Now APARTS stands for author, A, P for place, A for audience, T for time, and finally S for subject. Now to break it down or just to review, MARS would be a strategy that helps us analyze the document, and APARTS is a strategy that helps us analyze the source. To go over how this works and how you can use APARTS to help you determine a source's point of view, we'll use an example here of Pericles. And we'll take one of his famous sayings, which says, we do not say that a man who takes no interest in politics is a man who minds his own business. We see that he has no business here at all. Right, so Pericles here is making a statement, and let's figure out his point of view and how that influences the statement here that he makes. So starting off with A, author. Who is it? It's Pericles. Now what social class does he come from? Pericles came from a wealthy Athenian family who was historically very powerful. His occupation, he was a statesman, meaning a politician, also a general of the army, in addition an orator, someone who spoke publicly. His nationality, he was from the city of Athens. And in this case, political view is not going to be applicable in the modern sense of political view, Republican, Democratic, conservative, liberal. So we'll say not applicable for now. Next part is place. Where was he when he said this? So it was written again from Athens and again from the position of power and influence. And does this affect their perspective? Of course. He's talking about people's role in political society, and he is involved, or he is a member of that society, so that definitely influences, creates a level of bias on his position. Now his audience. You are a master, everyone is a master, of knowing their audience and how it is they should speak. And so it's important as an historian to take time to study and think about who was the intended audience. And a good way to think about it is if you were to read someone's diary, it would sound very different than if you were to read someone's public speech. So knowing that the person had different audiences for those two documents would help you analyze it better. So in this case, who was the intended recipient? Now, part of Pericles' job was being an orator. So he was saying this publicly, So this is a public statement. And was he trying to influence them? Certainly. This was meant not only just to be a reflection of society, but to say to people, hey, if you're not into politics, it doesn't mean that you're minding your own business, but it means that you don't have a right in politics because you're just being apathetic or not being involved. So yes, he was trying to persuade people. Now the reason he said it, what was the purpose? Again, to persuade people to get involved into politics, to make a statement against people who are not and saying, you know what, if you're not involved in this, if you're not interested, you don't have business here. So get yourself interested. Time. Was it said during or before or after an event? Was this, right, said during his time as a ruler, right, of Greece? So was he aware? Is he knowledgeable of the situation? Sure, right? Is he aware of how politics work then? Definitely. Now, how does this affect his reliability? Right, it makes him reliable on the state of politics, right, in Athens and in Greece. Now, finally, what's this document about? So this quote, again, refers to an attitude that everyone should be involved in politics. So after taking a look at this, we do know that, and the conclusion that we should draw from this from Pericles is that, yes, he had a pretty harsh view about people being involved, and that really he had no sympathy for someone who's not involved in politics. But this is coming from someone who grew up with it. This is someone who grew up from a family that was powerful, and he lived his full life, right, being an important figure in Athens. So it's natural to think that he had this view. Now, in order to fully understand maybe what it was like during this time period and being involved, you might want to get a different point of view, someone who maybe is not from a powerful and wealthy family, maybe just a regular soldier, right, to see, well, did everyone have a place in politics back then? Was it easy to get involved or not? So that's it from myself and High Five History, giving you a strategy to help you analyze the point of view of a source using the acronym APARTS. I hope you enjoy.